Welcome back, everybody. You are watching the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase right here on NorCal Sports TV. We're getting ready to go here in game number 4, Dominican against Concordia. And, of course, Dominican played the first game of the day. They beat Notre Dame de Namur by a score of 6-4. And Ethan, Concordia just got off their game against Biola a couple games ago, and a dominating win. That score was 10-2. And we saw the struggles for Biola in the cage, and it's going to be a good matchup here against both these teams that are 1-0 today.
Yeah, and like I said at the end of last game, I believe Concordia is the best team we've seen today. They are all around. They have been so far the only all-around team that I've seen. Their defense is fun to watch by how graceful they move. They move in unison with their man. They play kind of like a man-to-man but zone hybrid. They keep the offenders off of the crease to allow Schweikert, their goalkeeper, to have a lot of vision and see. And Dominican, well, they kept the ball in their offensive half a lot, and it paid off with allowing their goalkeeper,
Nathan Cable,
a time to breathe. And even though it looked like Notre Dame was going to come back and win that one at the end of it, they were able to hang on and maintain that victory.
And Dominican in that game against Notre Dame had a 4-0 lead at the end of the first half and really just played a little bit of keep away in that second half. Notre Dame had a couple of opportunities to score. Of course, they scored 4 goals in that second half, and Concordia just dominant. They led 6-2 at the end of the first half against Biola, and then, of course, winning that game 10-2. So we are about ready to get underway. Nathan Cable, the goalkeeper for Dominican, and we assume that Tyler Schweikert is going to be back in goal for Concordia after surrendering just 2 goals in that first game. And there they go, Cable and Schweikert to their respective goals. Dominican will be moving from our left to right in the white jerseys and black shorts, and Concordia will be moving from our right to left in the green and white.
One thing that I appreciate a little bit more about this game is numbers on the front of the uniforms.
You're absolutely right. As we get ready for the face-off, and for Concordia to be Ethan Espiritu. And there for the face-off, and for Dominican, the freshman Charles Daniels. We're 20 minutes overhead in the start of Game 4 here on the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase on NorCal Sports TV. Whistle's blowing. Here we go. We're getting started, and the very physical face-off ball's on the ground. Here's Concordia on offense right away, left side. That's Woodard. Woodard gives it off to Tanner Jones. Very quick striking, Ethan, is this Eagles offense.
Yeah, it looked like they were going to be more methodical in the first game against Biola, but they ended up turning up the tempo and taking a lot of shots on goal, and it seemed like every single shot they took landed.
Here's Sean Goodell sprinting up right side, trying to find a lane. He goes behind the cage this time, and Concordia moves it all the way around back to the top. On the right side, here's Jacob Aho. The shot is out of bounds. Closest player was a Concordia Eagle, so here's Jackson Woodard right away near side as we approach 19 minutes. Woodard once again gives away behind the cage. That's Tanner Jones. And a minute gone here in the first half of this game number 4. Of course, 6 games all right here on NorCal Sports TV. Ethan Estrada and yours truly, Forrest Hunt. As the pass is intercepted, that is Harrison Ray. Harrison Ray is going the other way for Dominican. From our left to right, as Ray crosses the midfield stripe on the near side, he'll give it off to Garrett Teagarden for Dominican as the Penguins work it around far side. First time we've seen the Penguins on attack against this very good Concordia defense, Ethan. Here's Harrison Ray.
And it looks like Concordia is playing a lot more man-to-man. They played a lot more zone against Biola, but now it looks like they're starting to get a little bit more congested.
Here's Ray. His shot on one hop. That's saved. Tyler Schweikert, he was very good against Biola, just allowing the 2 goals.
And they try to go, like you said, the 0 hole, but Schweikert waiting for it and able to pick it on a 1 hop.
Here's Concordia. They had a fast break. Now they'll settle down. Logan Perry straight away. Defense put on by Dominican. Concordia Eagles have it on the far sideline. Connor Vilter in there on defense, playing pretty good defense for Dominican. Dominican, of course, the host school here in the West Coast. showcase. The shot on goal is in from Logan Perry, and we saw him have a couple of goals in the first game against Biola, and just like that, he gives Concordia the 1-0 lead over Dominican with 17.5 minutes to go.
That was a tough one to defend, about chest high, not a lot of room to move your cross to get that low, and it was not like it was a one-hop shot to where you could pick it off the ground. Just unlucky for Nathan Cable and a good shot on goal for Concordia.
1-0 Concordia Eagles as they send Nick Flores out to midfield for the face-off. He'll go up against the freshman for Dominican, Charles Daniels. Both players on one knee at midfield as our referee will place the ball on the stripe. He blows the whistle. Here we go in the face-off. That's won by Daniels. Dominican with possession. Now bouncing around. And Dominican does maintain possession. Playing with it on their own defensive half now as they gave it back to the goalkeeper, Nathan Cable. And up the near sideline goes Andrew Wiley. Mateo Tolesi across the midfield stripe. And now into the attacking half for the Penguins on offense. That's Teagard now behind the cage, giving it off far sideline. James Walker to Mateo Tolesi. A little more methodical here for the Penguins in the second time around on offense. Here's Teagarden. And straight away.
That Concordia defense playing very tough, not allowing a lot of lanes. Every single time they think they have one, another man shows up and helps out.
Near side for Dominican. Trying to pressure into the crease. Pass intended for Mateo Tolesi, and it's scooped up by a Concordia defender. And scooped up by Cade Christensen. That was Maxwell Pierce trying to get a pass into the crease and did so unsuccessfully. Concordia, fast break far side. Zachary Carter to Prince Tanner. Now back straight away, that's Andrew Bloom working for the Eagles. Concordia with a 1-0 lead. They scored with 17:30 to go. Another shot, that one's wide. Shot taken by Zachary Carter. In good position was Nathan Cable.
And you can see the difference between the way Concordia attacks and the way they defend. Concordia, when they defend, they try to spread out the offense to make sure they don't get too close for the crease. But on offense, they try to congest as much as possible towards that crease to make their shot distance as minimal as possible.
5 minutes gone here in half number one. Mateo Tolesi brings it across midfield. It'll dump it off to James Walker. Dominican with it now behind the cage. Near side, Nick Becker has checked into the game. Becker and Tolesi playing a little catch back and forth. Here's Becker going in, right side, Becker shot. That is blocked. Ball still rolling around. Picked up by Teagarden. That is a goal for Garrett Teagarden. The goalkeeper for Concordia, Tyler Schweikert, was on both knees after the good save. It was bouncing around. Teagarden scooped it up. And that is a score for Dominican. We're tied at 1.
That was an unlucky hop for Schweikert. He thought he had it in his cross, but it just rolled out. Luckily, Teagarden was there to scoop it up and put a good shot on goal.
14 minutes remaining. Up for the face-off, Ethan Espiritu. Charles Daniels. Both teams 1-1 at the face-offs. Here's Daniels. He won the last one. As our referee is repositioning Daniels' stick. Blows the whistle, face off, and is won again by Daniels. Flips it right to Harrison Ray. Harrison Ray on the attack now, far sideline. Being guarded by Ethan Espiritu. Here's Ray going inside, pass across. The shot by Teagarden is high.
Oh, there was a lot of velocity behind that one. Teagarden had plenty of time to wind it up and let it rip.
Dominican still with possession far side. Harrison Ray looking into the middle. He'll pass it off near sideline. That's Jonathan Hicks. Hicks cradling it. In the middle. Teagarden near side. Teagarden pressuring in, trying to find a seam. He finds one. The shot is blocked. What a save by Tyler Schweikert. It's a good shot by Teagarden. He's had 2 opportunities now. Coming near side, Pierce, a flag is thrown. Ball is loose. And Zach Lentz, the body check as he hits the turf, and another flag is thrown. Play still going on. Our side. The shot on goal is no good. Here's Pierce once again with the goalie out of the crease, and Pierce scores. Maxwell Pierce. It was one-on-one with Tyler Schweikert. Pierce makes him pay for coming out of the crease, and Dominican takes a 2-1 lead.
A lot of physicality on defense right there by Concordia. 2 flags flew on a couple of hard body checks, but in the end, a lucky bounce for Dominican as Maxwell Pierce was able to scoop up the ball and make a man miss, and the man who missed was the goalkeeper Schweikert, so an empty goal.
Is one-on-one. Pierce made him pay. So once again, Nick Flores out for the face-off against Charles Daniels.
Something that I noticed about Concordia, they alternate their face-off man while Dominican stays strong with Charles Daniels.
Yeah, Nathan Espiritu and Nick Flores share the face-off duties. 11.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Game number 4. Both these teams 1-0. Concordia beat Biola 10-2. And Dominican beat Notre Dame de Namur in the first game this morning, 6-4. Both players ready for the face-off as our referee sets the ball on the midfield stripe. Blows a whistle. Here we go. Dominican up 2-1. Once again, Charles Daniels wins the face-off. Ball is loose. A lot of stick checking going on. Biola has it offensively. That's Brandon Mayo, far side. Concordia attacking as we have some fresh legs jogging on for both sides. Under 11 minutes to go. 2-1 DU leads. Concordia looking for a lane. They cannot find it. That was Sean Goodell who gave way to Jackson Woodard behind the cage. Good defense being put on right now, forcing Woodard away from the cage. That is Eric Garcia. Looking for more room. Concordia will back it out. That's Jacob Aho. Jacob Aho straight away up toward midfield. 10:15 left here in the first half.
Concordia being much more patient now as the half continues to wind down. Now that they're down by 1, they're just looking for that weak spot like they found with Biola. They found the weak point, which is the one-hop shot on Koopman, and now they're just trying to find the Dominican defense weakness.
Really going to slow things down here as Logan Perry is checked in. Of course, he scored the goal earlier for Concordia. Here's a shot, and that is saved. Nathan Cable with a big save. That would have been the equalizing goal. Instead, Dominican still with a 2-1 lead. Here's Mateo Tolesi getting it across midfield down the near sideline on the right side. Here he comes. He'll give way to Teagarden. Teagarden can't handle it. Now he scoops it up. Teagarden had a lot of ideas of what he wanted to do on the attack there. Forgot to catch the ball first. In and out of the cross. Straight away for Dominican. That is James Walker. Gives it off near side. Teagarden. Working one-on-one against Mason Roth. Now back straight away, that's Jake Ood. The shot on goal is high from James Walker.
The Penguins getting a lot of opportunities against this good Concordia defense, and Schweikert, a really good goalkeeper. But in the end, they're just trying a little bit too hard and going too fast, and those shots are sailing on them.
Dominican still on offense. Here's Teagarden, far side, in toward the crease. His shot is blocked. He gets it back, has it behind the cage, pass inside to Pierce, who tries to go underneath. And it's saved once again by Tyler Schweikert. Good series of saves there by the man in goal for Concordia.
Schweikert has been the most outstanding goalie so far. And now the 4th game, we are in the 4th game, so the 3 games that we've watched, he's been the best.
Far side Concordia on offense. Trailing Dominican 2-1. Here's Andrew Bloom. Fresh legs coming on for Concordia. That is Daxton Allison. He has a couple of goals so far, both in that game against Biola. Andrew Bloom, right side, working on a Penguin defender. Shot behind the cage. I should say a pass behind the cage. Now near side, that's Tanner Jones. He gets it knocked away for a moment, then picks it back up. 7:45 to go in half number 1. 2-1 Dominican. Concordia far side. Bloom still has it, and he's been very active here in this first half for Concordia. Mayo straight away near side. That's Daxton Allison. Concordia works it behind the cage for Jackson Woodard. Good defense by Dominican here in the last few minutes, not letting Concordia get near the cage. There's Nick Becker as you see the physicality on defense, and that's knocked away and picked up by Dominican. Andrew Wiley picks it up. He'll pass it over near side. Dominican on offense now inside Nick Becker. Shot is high. Nick Becker had a good look at it. The shot was about a foot high over the pipe. 6:50 to go. Dominican maintains possession on offense, forcing the issue and a 2-1 lead. The shot is in. What a shot by Thomas Delario. Working his way from behind the cage right to in front of the crease, and he gets it over the right shoulder of Tyler Schweikert. It's 3-1 DU.
The Concordia defense seems perplexed. They looked extremely good against Biola, but here Dominican is able to confuse them in their kind of zone man-to-man hybrid and make a lot of cross-sections, kind of like rub routes in football. They're able to get free and congest right in front of the goal, not allowing Schweikert to have a clean look.
We have a timeout here, and Dominican with a 3-1 lead with 6:17 to go here in the first half, and you talked about it, and we're going to keep talking about it, Ethan. Dominican had some success in that first game against Notre Dame, working their offense from behind the cage and from behind to in front, right around that crease. And they did so here on that goal. Another good goal for Dominican, and something that Concordia wasn't really faced with against Biola.
And mostly because Biola didn't have a lot of opportunities in their attacking half, because Concordia was able to win a lot of the faceoffs against Biola, and they put a lot of pressure on the defense of Biola, who kind of looks how the Concordia defense looks right now, congested in front of the goal, not allowing Schweikert to have clean looks at the shots. And also the defense getting congested allows one-on-ones, and we saw that with Maxwell and his empty goal.
You're absolutely right. And you talked about the change for Concordia on defense. They haven't really stuck with that zone defense here against Dominican. Why do you think they changed to a man, and why haven't they changed back? It's not really working.
I think they're going a little bit more to a man because of how Dominican played against Notre Dame Dana Moore. They kind of waited a little bit, so they wanted to add a little bit more pressure. Biola was a lot more trying to find lanes and trying to get to the crease to make their shots better, but Dominican a lot more patient than what Biola was.
3-1 Dominican coming out of the timeout. 6:17 to go here in the first half. We're in game 4 of 6, and just a reminder, coming up after this game, Concordia will take on Notre Dame. So that'll be an interesting game to watch as well. That one is scheduled for 2 o'clock, possibly start just a little bit after 2. As this game here with Dominican against Concordia started just a little bit after 1. We're getting ready for a face-off. Ethan Espiritu back out there for the face-off against Charles Daniels. Everybody ready? 3-1 Dominican with 6:17 to go. Referee blows his whistle. Charles Daniels trying to win the face-off. He does not. Ethan Espiritu will win the face-off. But a penalty is called, and the possession is given right back to Dominican. Now Harrison Ray with it. Dominican moving the ball around. Not pressuring just yet. Behind the goal. Near side, Harrison Ray. Straight away now, that's Jensen Lewins. Far side for Dominican, pressuring on the offensive half. That's Jake Oob. Oob in toward the crease to his own man who's tripped up.
And that's one thing. Biola, when Concordia faced Biola was in a perimeter around. They were looking to shoot the ball around, but Dominican starting off close to the crease, and right there you can see how they're very congested along the far sideline, leaving Lewins along the near sideline wide open.
He is still along the near sideline wide open. They found Lewins. Here he is, moving in toward the cage, spins around a defender, now gives way to Teagarden. Teagarden wants to shoot it, can't find crease. Now he bounces it, and it's wide.
Looked like Derek Jeter on that one, but he spiked it too hard in front of the goal and it just bounced over the top pipe.
Dominican still with possession. They've had the possession since coming out of the timeout. 4:50 to go here in the first half. Tea Garden loses the ball, and it's picked up by Cade Christensen. Lot of pressure by Thomas Delario. He forces a bad pass. Dominican back with it. Lewins. He's got some shiny cleats on. White and gold. Dominican still on offense. Pierce back of the cage. That's Delario. Dominican working over to Harrison Ray on the near side. Ray working on Logan Perry. Ray makes a miss. Now the good defense by Concordia comes into play. Ray tries to use his body, spins around the defender, gives it off in the middle, and he's tripped up. Whistles are going to be blown. That was Zach Lentz who was tripped up.
We got a push on Concordia.
So not only was he tripped up, but he was pushed as well. Dominican still with possession as the clock rolls under 4 minutes to go. Lewins, far side, Tea Garden. Ray, slowing things down. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Lewins trying to force the issue. Good defense by Justin Vasu. Near sideline, Tea Garden wants to take a shot, instead dumps it off, and that pass was perfect for Zach Lentz. He just couldn't hang on.
And we got another push against Concordia, getting a little bit too physical there towards the end of that play.
Been a physical day here at Kennelly Field. Push in the back. Tea Garden has it. DU still in possession. They get a fresh 80 seconds on that shot clock. Tea Garden trying to find a lane. Here's his shot, and that is saved by Tyler Schweikert. He gives it upfield. The pass for Connor Reed. It's rolling around. Harrison Ray is there. Reed's checked. A lot of stick checking going on, and that was a high stick there, Ethan, as Concordia is going to get possession. Clock rolls under 3 minutes.
Dominican wanting to bump up the physicality a little bit. Concordia being very physical. And in a very physical sport, I'd like to see Dominican ramp it up a little bit more.
Yeah, 2:40 to go here in the first half. Dominican leads 3-1. Concordia now on offense. Sean Goodell. And over to Jacob Aho. Aho working on Ray. Aho in, right side. Aho looking for a lane to shoot. He loses the ball. The ball is free. Aho picks it back up. He's able to recover now behind the cage, and he gives a pass over to Woodard. Inside, the shot from Tanner Jones is too long. And out of bounds across the far sideline. Concordia will keep possession with 2:10 to go.
Good reflexes right there by Nathan Cable. A low shot on goal, able to just get a piece of it with the cross.
Behind the cage, Concordia is working. That's Aho once again, shot in, deflected. Mayo picks it up on the far sideline, 1:55 in half number one. Good defense by the Penguins. That is Cole Ramsey who takes it away from Mayo. Ramsey working upfield. Ramsey dumps it off.
Looks like it's a timeout for Dominican.
Timeout, you're right. Coach Sammy calling a timeout. We had whistles blowing in the defensive half. Coach Sammy calling the timeout with 1:38 left. And, well, Ethan, Concordia looked like the Goliath in the situation coming into this game. Of course, both teams are 1-0. And, well, Dominicans played them very well, and right now they have a 3-1 lead with 1:38 left to go in the first half.
Dominicans played them very well, and most because their offense has maintained control of the ball. They're not allowing Concordia they're not making mistakes. And like we watched Concordia do against Biola, they waited for Biola to make the mistakes and swoop in and take the ball away. But Dominican's not doing that. They're being patient. And then not only that, but Concordia likes to play kind of like a man-to-man zone hybrid. So what they do is they start crossing people together, and all of a sudden you get a mosh pit in front of the goal, and Schweiker doesn't have a clean look.
Yeah, it's what Concordia really did in that first game against Biola. They did very well was they left the lanes open for Schweikert. He had a good view at everything, and they're really not doing that here in this game against Dominican, at least in the first half. 3-1 our score as both teams coming back out onto the field. Schweikert has really had a good game. Dominicans had plenty of shots on goal, and he's done good defensively, but just a couple, as you said, when his line of sight gets clogged, you almost have no shot trying to deflect those shots away.
Yeah, and Schweikert had a really good game against Biola because he could examine the field. He knew what was coming. But now Dominican playing a little bit more unpredictable, and that's what's helping them in this one. And right at the end, right before that time I was called, I said I wanted Dominican to ramp up the physicality a little bit, and boy, did that happen.
Dominican will have possession on the far side with 1:38 and 71 on the shot clock. That's Mateo Tolesi on the far side for Dominican, trying to get it to his teammate James Walker. He does. James Walker working on Hayden Greco. Walker dumps it off. Teagarden straight away. Teagarden looking for an opening. Now on the far side. Boy, Teagarden will shoot from almost anywhere, won't he?
Oh, definitely. He's very aggressive, and he's actually one of the more fun-to-watch players on this Dominican attack.
Here's Walker. Bumps a man out of the way. The shot is deflected by Schweigert. James Walker had a nice shot opportunity there. And hustling upfield for Concordia is Connor Reed. He gets stick-checked, the defender, and he gives it off to Woodard. Under a minute to go. Andrew Bloom to Jacob Aho. 50 seconds here in the first half as Logan Perry's come back in. Boy, we know he's nifty offensively. To Mayo. Aho. Near side, Bloom, left side, working toward the cage, spins around, and good defense being played by James Walker. 30 seconds left here in the first half. 3-1 Dominican leads. The shot is blocked. That shot was taken by Logan Perry, and the defense did a good job just to deflect that one away. Cable has it in the goal. He'll now give it to Cole Ramsey. With 10 seconds here in the first half. Pushing upfield, that is Jake Oob. Oob straight away. Oob takes a shot. One hop off the mask of Tyler Schweikert. And that does it here in half number one. Schweikert gets a mask save. 3-1 after one half of play. Dominican leads Concordia.
Well, after both these teams won this first game, this is kind of how you expected it. You expected it to be close. You didn't expect it to be how like Concordia played Biola. You thought this would be a much tougher task, and Dominican able to put up 3 goals on Schweikert, who had a really good game against Biola. And Concordia's defense looked really good against Biola, but Dominican being unpredictable, confusing them, has allowed them to take the 2-goal lead at the half.
3-1 Dominican over Concordia. You are watching the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase on NorCal Sports TV. We'll be back with the second half in about 5 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. We're getting ready for half number 2 of the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase, with Dominican leading Concordia 3-1. And Ethan, just like we said in the first half of this game, we were expecting a better game, really. The last two have been kind of blowouts, and it is 3-1. It is a better game, and Dominican's doing a pretty good job exposing the Concordia defense.
And they're exposing the Concordia defense by confusing them. They're not being predictable like the Biola offense, who is just trying to swing it around and find an open lane to work with. Instead, they're doing a little bit of everything. Not only are they working around, but they're being very aggressive and taking shots from far outside. Just like you said, Teagarden being very aggressive. He'll shoot it from about anywhere as long as he has a clear angle on goal.
We switch sides now. Dominican will be attacking from our right to left. Concordia from our left to right. And, of course, out there for the face-off for Dominican, Charles Daniels. And out at the center midline for Concordia will be Ethan Espiritu. Daniels has had some success today against this Concordia team in face-offs as we're about ready to go 20 minutes overhead. 3-1 Dominican here in Game 4. Of course, 6 games here today. Charles Daniels and Ethan Espiritu really battling for that face-off. Nobody has won it yet, and Daniels gets his helmet ripped off. And whistles will be blown as Daniels has to come off the field. He'll put his helmet back on. And coming on will be Harrison Ray. 3-1 Dominican.
That's one thing. Concordia definitely outmatching Dominican in terms of physicality. I'd like to see it, just like I said, I'd like to see Dominican ramp that up a little bit more.
And we'll see.
I think Coach Sammy's happy about that call on that one.
No, he's not. He's letting the officials know that he is not pleased with the official call. It'll be Concordia ball, Sean Goodell, right at the midfield stripe. As the referee blows his whistle, and we're ready to continue play. On the far side, Concordia has it. That's Logan Perry. Straight away, Goodell working in on the Dominican defense. He'll give it away to Jacob Aho, far side. That's Logan Perry once again. Tries to spin around Mateo Tulasi. His pass intended for Woodard is high. It'll be Dominican ball. And bringing in will be Cole Ramsey. Defense looked pretty good there in the first couple of minutes for DU.
Defense is being aggressive and keeping Concordia away from the crease and also waiting for mistakes. They're doing what Concordia did against Biola. They're waiting for the offense to make a mistake.
Mateo Tulasi spins around his defender. Makes him drop the stick. Here's the shot from Teagarden, and that is in. Garrett Teagarden with another goal, and he extends the lead to 4-1.
Garrett Teagarden has to be the player of the day so far for the Penguins. He has been all over the place on offense, and that's like his 4th goal today. He's been magnificent for the Penguins.
He scores that goal. 18 minutes on the clock, and of course the clock rolls. It only stops if the officials need it stopped or on timeouts, of course. Under 18 minutes to go as our official is playing with the helmet of Charles Daniels, who, of course, in that last face-off lost his helmet. Face-off will be against Nick Flores for Concordia. Our official is getting ready, setting up the stakes for both players, making sure that they're absolutely perfect. He blows the whistle. Here we go. Daniels wins the face-off. He flips it between his legs back to Nick Becker. Becker down the sideline on the far side as we approach 17 minutes remaining in the game. Becker, well, the turf monster got him there, Ethan. Trying to stop on a dime, and he got tripped up. He slipped before getting checked to the turf. 17 minutes exactly to go. DU leads 4-1.
And you can tell what kind of player Nick Becker is. You could tell he's a very physical player because he took so many stick checks on his way to get closer to the crease. It was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it kind of was. Good defense by Concordia. Here's Dominican pressuring. That's Jake Oob. Moving inside, Pierce. Pierce dives. Pierce shoots. Pierce scores. 5-1 Dominican. A diving shot by Maxwell Pierce. He extends the lead to 4. 16 and a half minutes to go.
Well, Maxwell Pierce scoring his 2nd goal of the day. He's fooled Schweiker twice. He beat Schweiker one-on-one to score an empty goal score. And now all of a sudden he works around a defender and finds that little open hole to shoot the ball to find the back of the cage.
You know, Schweikert in that first game against Biola only allowed 2 goals. Only more than doubled that here in this game against Dominican. DU leads 5-1. Another face-off back out there. Charles Daniels, of course, against Ethan Espiritu. Daniels getting ready. You talked about the physicality for Dominican, Ethan, and Nick Becker has really brought that. He's on the floor. He's on the field, that is. There's a check as we have a cross on the floor. Here goes Cole Ramsey. He'll give way to Pierce. Pierce down to Del Aria. Penguins working behind the cage, 15.5 minutes to go in the game. 5-1 Dominican. Near side, Mateo Tolesi.
Now the Penguins being a little bit more patient with a 4-goal lead, but that's the problem. They got patient against Notre Dame, and that lead evaporated.
Barreling his way into a defender, shooting and scoring is James Walker. He lowered the shoulder, ran through a defender, raised the cross, and fired, and he scored. 6-1.
I guess you should count how many times you put a broadcaster's jinx on a game.
That's 3 for you today.
At least.
That's 6-1. Walker scores. Another face-off coming up. Espiritu against, we expect Charles Daniels will be on the face-off. Maybe not. Looks like Coach Sammy is sending out a new face for the face-off. That's Noah Swigert. I think Coach Sammy's saying, you know what, Charles, you've done enough.
And he's been really good on those face-offs today for the Penguins.
14.5 minutes and counting here in the game. Dominican and Concordia. Swigert on the face-off. Does not make a motion toward the ball, says our official. And that'll give Concordia possession. This is only their second possession, Ethan, here attacking in the second half.
And that's because, just like Dominican did in the first game, their offense is their defense. They're keeping control of the ball, not committing mistakes and giving the ball right back to Concordia, allowing their defense time to breathe.
Sean Goodell straight away working on the Penguin defender, comes near side, looks left, being shoved out, now back behind the cage, and just terrific defense by Dominican. That's Noah Swigert on defense. Here comes Jacob Aho, right side, looking for a lane. Nick Becker once again on defense doing a great job. Concordia has to back it way out. That's Logan Perry being stick checked right in the chest. Good defense. Here's Goodell. Near side, the shot by Mayo, upper shelf. Brandon Mayo scores for Concordia, and that cuts it to 6-2.
Nathan Cable, just both goals that he's given up today have just been bad luck goals. Close range, a lot of velocity, and especially towards that upper far corner has given him a little bit of problems.
The problems for Biola. The low shots, the problems for Nathan Cable for Dominican, have been the high shots above the shoulders. Charles Daniels back out there for the face-off. He'll face off against Nick Flores. Daniels has been very good at face-offs here this afternoon. Dominican won their first game against Notre Dame Dana Moore. That was the game earlier this morning at 10 o'clock. 6-4 was the final score.
Holding against Concordia was the call on that penalty.
There you go. Gives Dominican possession. Here's Harrison Ray going very quickly. Harrison Ray up the seam, looks left side. He's checked, and he'll back away. Concordia won their first game 10-2 over Biola. And after we saw every team play, Ethan, we were sitting here in the booth thinking, wow, this Concordia team is going to be a force to be reckoned with all day. And Dominican has held them in check, leading 6-2.
Yeah, Concordia looked great on offense and defense, especially Schweikert in the goal. It looked fantastic, but that's because his defense was able to keep Biola off of the crease. Dominican being a little bit more aggressive and getting closer and congesting things. That's what's been the difference so far.
Delario behind the goal, behind the cage. Here he comes near side, trying to look for a seam, working around the goal, and he is getting stick checked like crazy. And a bunch of whistles, and we have a push off. It's going to give Concordia possession.
I think the referee called warding on Delario on that one.
Schweikert in goal. He'll give it off to Justin Vasu. As we approach 11 minutes remaining, tough defense. Ball's loose. Harrison Ray, it's being kicked around. It goes out, and it goes in possession and in favor of Dominican. Getting to it quickly is Charles Hurst. Hurst brings it in near sideline. And back to Harrison Ray, who will slow things down.
Hurst wanted to go really fast and catch Concordia off guard, but the Concordia defense rallied fast. All best and smartest play to do was give it off to Ray.
Dominican 6, Concordia 2. T. Garden straight away. T. Garden will shoot from anywhere. Here he comes near side, even with the cage now. And he'll work behind the cage. 10.5 minutes to go. T. Garden spins around his defender, now working far side, being pushed away from the crease. Here's Nick Becker. Connor Vilter gives way to behind the cage now. Hurst to Delario. Back to Harrison Ray. Approaching 10 minutes to go.
Penguins would like to do what Concordia did to Biola and keep their foot on the gas.
Whistles and
I think Allison might have been called for a cross check on that one.
I think you're right as they give possession to Concordia. Flag is thrown on the far sideline. Daxton Allison put a shoulder into Nick Becker. You are watching the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase right here on NorCal Sports TV. They're still trying to discuss the penalty on the far sideline. Meanwhile, Ethan, this works in favor of Dominican as the clock continues to roll.
Yeah, up by 6, and that's one thing about lacrosse. The clock keeps ticking. Definitely in the Penguin favor with a 4-goal lead, and Concordia not having any success so far creating turnovers against the Dominican offense. That's what they did well against Biola, and that's why they put up so many goals, is because they had the ball majority of the time.
Still trying to sort out the penalty on the far side. Clock still rolls. We're 9 minutes to go. If you're Coach Sammy, you're not really fazed by this penalty taking a while, as your team is up 4 goals and the clock's still rolling.
I say you keep arguing and try to prove your point. The more you argue and the more you keep the referees captivated, the more that clock rolls down.
Our official is now having a conversation with Brandon Mayo, who's over there, as well as Cole Ramsey for Dominican. And they're going to give Dominican possession. That's Mateo Tolesi with it on the far sideline. So just like that, Ethan, 2 minutes gone off the clock.
That's just a huge. If you're Concordia, you are very disappointed about that. You think the referee should be very, what is it?
Dominican on offense now. Behind the cage. Hurst. Shot saved by Schweikert.
What I was trying to say is Concordia would feel like the referee should be have more conviction in their calls, not just try to communicate over what was happening. But then again, referees always want to get it right.
You're right, yeah. Trying to sort things out no matter how long it takes, I guess, right? That's what they're trying to do there.
And unfortunately for Concordia, milked off 2 minutes.
It did, and 2 crucial minutes as they trail by 4. Here's Sean Goodell. Near sideline, Jacob Aho, pass across. The shot is good. That is Tanner Jones. Good pass by Jacob Aho to Tanner Jones across the crease, and Jones scores at 6-3.
And Concordia found Nathan Cable's weakness, that high shot to the far corner. That's the one that he hasn't had. That's the one he has not had any success against today. And, well, that's what Concordia did against Biola. They found Caleb Koopman's weakness, and they exposed it for 10 goals. So we'll see what Concordia's offense can do with a little over 7 minutes left on the game clock.
Shea Woolery in for the face-off for Concordia against Charles Daniels for Dominican. 6:55 and rolling here in Game 4. Both these teams 1-0, so the winner will move to 2-0. The other will move to 1-1. Right now, Dominican leading 6-3. As our official backs away, blows the whistle in the face-off. Daniels against Woolery. Who's going to come out the victor in this face-off? Daniels looking around, And now flips between his legs, and Daniels wins the faceoff right to Eric Garcia. Garcia pressuring near side to Pierce. Thought Pierce had a shot. Instead, he gives it off to Hurst. And now Pierce does take a shot. I think he's kicking himself for not taking that first shot, Ethan.
Yeah, he had a better look on goal the first time around, but a nice pass by Teagarden to give him another opportunity between a couple of high sticks reaching for it. But in the end, Maxwell should have trusted his gut and gone with the first shot.
James Walker has already scored once in this game, pressuring the cage, now rolls behind. Under 6 minutes. 5:45 to go. Here's Harrison Ray. The shot is saved by Schweikert, and what a save.
Schweikert showing off the reflexes on that one.
Boy, what a check. Eagle got lit up on that play as we have a flag on the field.
Oh my, and checking it out on the instant replay. He got shoulder to shoulder and just buried him.
Officials are going to have a conversation. 5:15 and still going on the clock.
Watching it on replay, that's the most violent check that we've had today. Maxwell Pierce holding nothing back.
Still 6-3 Dominican as they're going to give possession, of course, to Concordia. Big body check. The flag was thrown. They don't want Jackson Woodard to start going just yet. He's ready to go as we have 4:40 left in the game. Dominican leading 6-3. Near side for Concordia. That's Carter behind the cage now. Concordia working it back. Far side. The shot is in. Sean Goodell gets it around Nathan Cable, and just like that, it is a 2-point game.
And they have now found the weak spot of Nathan Cable, and they're going to expose it. That's what Concordia does best. Once they find your weak point, they're going to attack it. And for Nathan Cable, it's the far upper corner.
Only have 4 minutes to score 2 goals, Ethan. We've seen it done. Coming up on 4 minutes exactly for the Penguins of Dominican. They just need the ball in the attacking half. Try and milk this clock. This is the exact score that Dominican won their first game by against Notre Dame Dana Moore.
And if you're the Penguins, you really want Charles Daniels to win this faceoff so you can milk the clock in your own attacking half.
3:45. Daniels out there. And he loses a faceoff. Ethan Espiritu wins it. Espiritu, stick check, shot attempt blocked, and the ball is knocked out of his cross. Pass near side and being laid out. And there's a flag being laid out for Dominican was Justin Fox. Boy, did he take a hit there from Concordia.
Andrew Bloom laid the lumber. And it was interesting that the referee right in front of the play didn't throw the flag. Compared to Maxwell Pierce's, that looked about the exact same to me.
Yeah, those were both pretty violent hits. Harrison Ray will take it for Dominican. Here's Dominican attacking on offense as one of our officials has to calm down the crowd. Some vulgarity being tossed around here at Kennelly Field apparently. But for Dominican, the clock continues to run, Ethan. That's just really been the theme here in the second half, is that the clock continues to go. 2:40 to go. Harrison Ray on offense.
A lot of questionable calls so far by the referee, but all of them going in Dominican's favor in terms of each one chewing up the clock.
Here's Mateo Tolesi back to Harrison Ray straight away. 2.5 minutes to go. Jake Oob to Teagarden. Every time Teagarden gets it in his cross, Ethan, you think he's going to shoot no matter where he is on the field. Here's Oob. The shot saved. Tyler Schweikert saves it. 2:10 to go.
Schweikert definitely looking more like himself from the Biola game after a rough first half. He's definitely settled in.
Far side, here goes Logan Perry very quickly. Pass to Woodard. Woodard, here's Mayo. Mayo's shot is wide. Brandon Mayo was very active in that first game against Biola. He does have a goal here. Here's Harrison Ray across midfield. 1:40 to go. 45 seconds on the shot clock. You'd think, Ethan, 2 possessions for the Penguins, and that would do it.
Yeah, just milk down the shot clock as much as possible. The shot clock actually reset. We are down to 73.
We got a whistle and a timeout. with the clock's still going. They're going to stop it at 1:24, and Ethan, I think the timeout was taken at about 1:30. We'll see if they put those 6 seconds back on the clock. We do have a timeout, and they do put it back to 1:30. Wow. Exactly. Wasn't positive about it being 1:30 or 1:31, but it is 6-4 Dominican against Concordia. Both these teams are 1-0. Concordia beat Biola 10-2. Dominican beat Notre Dame by this score 6-4, and they're a minute and 30 away from going 2-0 on the day.
Well, what Dominican needs to do is make sure that Concordia doesn't have any more offensive chances because they found Nathan Cable's weakness. That's exactly what they did against Biola, and they were tied 1-1 for the longest time until they found out that Caleb Koopman couldn't stop the one-hop shot. And then all of a sudden they put up 9 more goals. So if you're Dominican, you just want to maintain possession as long as possible. 72 seconds on the shot clock, and I believe they do have control of the ball.
Yeah, they do have control of the ball as the timeout was called. Game 5 coming up. Ethan, you'll be back on the call for that one. That'll be Concordia. They're playing back-to-back, and they're going to play Notre Dame. Notre Dame's playing pretty tough. They just beat Biola, and they had the loss earlier this morning to Dominican, but Notre Dame was playing pretty well in the last game.
Notre Dame did look very well in the last game. Offense was very solid. Defense, a little bit skeptical about the defense because of the amount of chances Biola had. They were able to put up 4 goals. So very difficult situation. But I do think it would end up a good game in Game 5.
Both teams coming back onto the field with a minute and a half to go. And Ethan, you said it. 72 seconds on the shot clock, and we'd expect Dominican at least to hold it until, what, 10?
Yeah, you need to hold it on as long as possible because Concordia is so dangerous on offense once they find your goalkeeper's weakness. Because what Dominican does is they bring a whole bunch of unpredictability and allows the goalkeeper to not be able to guess what's coming. Well, Concordia, they just find the weak spot of the goalkeeper, and the goalkeepers know what's coming. They just can't stop it.
We're back underway. T. Garden has it. He'll come near side. James Walker down to Pierce. Pierce toward the crease. Now gives it back to Delario behind the cage. Pierce thought about shooting it, and then he thought, hold on a sec. We still have 60 seconds and a minute and 10 on the clock. James Walker holding on. The shot by T. Garden is deflected away into the far corner. That's going to be possession Dominican. In that far corner, Delario bringing it in. 50 seconds to go in the game. 6-4 Dominican leads. Concordia Irvine. Both these teams 1-0. Delario behind the cage, 45 seconds to go. And they can just run it out, Ethan, as there's over 60 seconds left on that shot clock. Stick check right in the top of the helmet of Delario. His pass intended for T. Garden is intercepted by Hank Bass, and whistles are being blown. And you're going to get him for hitting him in the helmet, Ethan.
Yeah, once Concordia gained possession, the referees finally blew the whistle to stop play. The clock still rolls, so the officiating definitely helping Dominican to come out with a 6-4 victory.
No, they are, and it's 14 seconds to go right now here in this game number 4 of the day. Dominican will go to 2-0 on the day. Concordia will fall to 1-1 on the day. So both the Dominicans wins, Ethan, coming by a score of 6-4.
And look at how excited Dominican is. That's one thing that I've loved about lacrosse so far today is how excited they've been about everything. And now they remain as the only 2-0 team, the only undefeated team left. And a great win over Concordia because Concordia looked like an unstoppable presence their first time against Biola, but Dominican made them look human.
All right, everybody, stay right here. You are watching the West Coast Private University Lacrosse Showcase on NorCal Sports TV. Concordia will stay here, and they will take on NDNU in Game 5.